Hey there. Do you think you're dealing with a sex addict in your life? Could it potentially be a narcissistic person who is actually classified as a sexual narcissist? When I meet with people that are dealing with sexual betrayal, there's some stories that are just unique enough for me to be cued in to start asking more questions, whether this is actually like a personality spectrum thing or if it is actually addiction. Now, don't get me wrong, people that suffer from sex addiction do behave narcissistically to get their needs met, to get their compulsion met. But those compulsions are really a coping mechanism if they're actually a sex addict. And I have a list over here that I'll draw off of. A sex addiction is driven by guilt and shame. It's a way to self-soothe and regulate emotions because they're not very good at processing emotions. They struggle with impulse control. It's often linked to attachment disorders and issues in childhood. Every single addict has an insecure attachment style, speaking from an integrated attachment theory coach. They have self-destructive behaviors that lead to negative life consequences. I mean, you can think of replace sex with drugs, alcohol, whatever. And the addiction is often secretive because it's driven by shame and the need for escapism. Now, when you're dealing with a sexual narcissist, however, or someone who is more highly narcissistic, who may still fall within this sex addiction realm, their compulsion is driven by a need for power, validation, and control of others. They have absolutely no remorse or guilt for their actions, but they need you around for supply. Remember, that's the narcissist deal. They need you around for supply. But for whatever they're getting from you, I can't tell you that unless I meet with you one-on-one and we have a discussion, but there's no remorse or guilt for making you feel bad or betraying you in any way. It boosts their ego. They use this particular behavior, sex, as a way to boost their ego and assert dominance over others. They see nothing wrong with their behavior, may even justify it and or blame you. If you would have XYZ, then I wouldn't have done what I did. This is very highly linked to narcissistic personality traits, lack of empathy stemming from a deep-seated insecurity. Remember, they don't have a self. So when they go out and seek their victims, it's all about what's going to be mirrored back. They're often very, very good in bed. Because that's where they have learned that if I do this super intimate thing, I actually get the reflection back that I want. Their behaviors are very self-serving, and they have no regard or little regard for others. And the narcissist behaviors are often very overt. They use charm and manipulation to achieve their desires. Which one sounds like what you're dealing with? When I was part of betrayal groups, I would hear these stories, and there were some, like I said, overlap, but I would hear the stories. I was in a group of 6 women one time, and 3 of them were completely unique and over the top that I recognized that the sex addiction therapist did not pick up on. And when I brought it up to the sex addiction therapist, she kind of brushed it over and then, sex addicts have narcissistic tendencies and they are highly narcissistic in order to get their needs met. While that is true, what these sex addiction places are not picking up on is this sexual narcissism. They're missing personality disorders because in their marriage and family therapy, their licensure, their all of these things, they're not learning the deep, intricate nuances of narcissistic abuse. They have like a half credit and it's mentioned somewhere in personality disorders. Here's your cluster B things. If you're confused, if you want to keep searching this out, you know something isn't right. You know there's something more. You think that like this is actually bordering on super dangerous. It's more than just ruining your relationships. Please reach out. I have been in this world. I have had this frustration. I have experienced this side of personality disorder that's not just addiction. I know where you're at, and I know that how confusing it is, and I know how crazy it can make you. You are not crazy. Believe yourself, okay? Go find answers. It's out there. I'm here to help. I'm Sarah Eva, Integrated Attachment Theory Coach, Complex Trauma Coach. I help those that are narcissistically abused. I help those that are sexually betrayed. www.htwcllc.com. You deserve help and you deserve healing. You deserve it now. You're not crazy.